Hi internet, I saw Wonder Woman because obviously, and I'm going to talk about it now, okay. Guess what? I think Hollywood has finally figured out that women are half the people. I hope. Yes. Women action leads can sell major blockbusters. Surprise! No, it's not a surprise anymore. Well, it seems they maybe have only figured out that straight, white, conventionally attractive, cisgendered women can sell major blockbusters. So there's that. But Wonder Woman is awesome. Opening weekend was huge. It was like many dollars. Many millions. It was $100 million. Worldwide was $200-something million, which I think is bigger than Iron Man, Captain America, and the other strong man with superpowers one. Thor and Iron Man and the people who guard the galaxy. Some shit like that. I don't know. I don't watch this stuff. I'm a fucking princess. Leave me alone. So to everyone who thought that putting feminism into superhero movies would make them fail,
What about the women-only screening?
oh my god, it's you again.
That's sexist!
Look, I know it's hard for men that there's one little place that they can't go for only 2.5 hours, but look, you can go anywhere else and do anything you want. I think you'll be okay.
You're right. You're right.
So, before we get started, I'd like to—
Well, I do need to point out how upsetting it is to me that you would insinuate that men's egos are so fragile that we can't handle women-only screenings.
So you just said—
You should specify that only some men were saying that.
Get
not all
out.
Men, not all men were
Get
saying that.
out.
Just some men were. Oh.
I was skeptical about the armor that the Amazons wear at first. It's so very sexy. And I don't know if you know this, but being sexy is actually not the point of armor. There's just not enough coverage for battle. You can't even fucking pick blackberries in that. Then I realized that a full suit of armor is hard to move in, at best. I'm actually not sure how you would— I can barely lift my arm. Have you ever worn a full suit of armor? I don't know how knights do it. This is a really great example of how the patriarchy oppresses men, too. This shit's restricting as fuck. So yeah, maybe it makes sense to wear something a little bit less constricting. Oh, and there was a healthy amount of male objectification, which I personally appreciated. Chris Pine. I mean, those eyebrows. Okay, now for the real stuff. White feminism is bad, right? Yeah, the internet seems to say that white feminism is bad. So if you're white and you're a feminist, then you're bad. Oh, I know. These will make me 120% more irritating to bigoted assholes. Plus, they're a handy theatrical device to let you know that I'm gonna talk all smart now. White feminism is a form of feminism that focuses on the struggles of white women while failing to address the distinct forms of oppression faced by women of color. Okay. Is Wonder Woman white feminism? Well, internet, since I know you want the opinion of a blonde princess on this matter, yes and no. I don't think that the character of Wonder Woman is white feminism. Not that there's a great deal of opportunity for intersectionality in World War I in Germany, but she does specifically say, "It is my duty to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves." And that's like half of intersectionality right there. The other half, for those of you that were wondering, is redirecting focus to more marginalized groups so that they can speak for themselves. Thanks, Miss Elephant. No problem. We're educational here at the Grumpy Princess Show. And to those of you saying that historical accuracy is no excuse to not be including people of color in historical films, you are right. And also, they did. There was even a native guy who talked about genocide. They let him pick out his own clothing so that he was accurate. That's pretty good representation right there, I think. Not to mention, there was racial diversity in the casting of the Amazons.
Which was super hot!
Not the point.
What? They were. Ah!
But, so the character of Philippus, a black Amazon from the comic books, was replaced as Diana's main trainer by Antiope, who was Hippolyta's sister, and white. That was not necessary. You know those points, those intersectionality points you got for having Eugene Braverock and speaking Blackfoot and shit? Taking them away. And while there was some racial diversity in the Amazons, most of the women of color were just in the background. And then there's the whole issue of Gal Gadot and Zionism, which is complicated. Look, I'm not going to pretend to understand the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict after Googling it for a couple hours, although some people on the internet are doing just that. Does Zionism really support killing Palestinians? I've heard yes. I've heard no. fucking do your homework before you talk about it, okay? It basically comes down to whether or not you think it's bad to hire an actor with potentially damaging viewpoints for a project if those viewpoints don't actually end up influencing the final product of the film. Well, what do you think, white lady? I'm so glad you asked. I think that the positive effects of a major blockbuster like Wonder Woman are much greater than the negative effects of someone's controversial tweets. Maybe you could hire someone else? Maybe someone with bigger muscles? Maybe I just wanted Wonder Woman to have bigger muscles? Is that so bad? But ultimately, my opinion of the intersectionality of Wonder Woman is not as important as the opinion of women of color. So I'm gonna shut up about it now. Wait, one more thing to say. Here's why I liked the movie. I was originally on the fence about how conventionally beautiful she is. She's so pretty. Why does an Amazon warrior need perma eyeliner? Do we really need that? We don't really need that. That's not helpful for kicking butts. But here's why I changed my mind. Diana is physically the ultimate picture of what the patriarchy wants women to be. She's pretty, she's perfect. I mean, she's the kind of woman we use to sell everything. And quite frankly, she's the sort of woman that benefits most from the patriarchy. And yet, she refuses to act like it. She's questioning injustice, she's fighting injustice, she's a fucking badass. And that is my jam. Here's why I think you should go see Wonder Woman even if you're on the fence about some of the feminism and intersectionality stuff. When you buy a ticket to a movie like this, it actually starts to change Hollywood. When you buy a ticket to Mad Max or Hidden Figures or Wonder Woman, you are showing Hollywood producers that female warriors, even disabled ones, and women of color will sell tickets and that they should make more movies like that. And that creates more opportunities for representation, which is great, okay? Yeah, it could be better in regards to some of the intersectionality stuff. However, it's a really good superhero movie. And if you don't want to support Wonder Woman because it's not perfect, that is totally fine. As long as I don't see you buying a ticket to Iron Man 13 or some shit like that. Well, that was my first movie review. Sorry it was so long. I mean, you're welcome because it was so long. If you liked it, then like and subscribe to my channel. I always forget to say that, but apparently you're supposed to do that. If you liked my very first movie review... God, that voice is obnoxious. Do I have to? That was my first movie review. If you liked it, like and subscribe to my channel and follow me on Facebook and Instagram, okay?